Ted Chen from the Washington University in St. Louis, and he's another our Yale proud. He received his PhD in economics at Yale University. Since then, he joined the marketing group there, and he established himself as one of the best researchers in quantitative marketing. And usually in any academic conference, I don't need to explain him who he is, because his name itself is a brand. It's like a high quality, always a good new insight, and as a big drinker. So I hold him until 2 a.m., but still he's here. Okay, so today he's gonna share his new research about retargeting, in online retargeting based on consumer search behavior.
Thank you. So thank you very much for the introduction, Jiwoon. I don't know what kind of brand I have, but maybe known by you. But anyway, it's a great honor to coming back, and also to be invited to this conference. And also thanks a lot for Jiwoon. I had a lot of good food and good wine last night, so I'm still kind of feeling very good now. Okay. So this talk is about consumer search and purchase, and it is about retargeting. Okay, and this retargeting, we are proposing a method. Okay, for retargeting is based on consumer online behaviors, which I will further elaborate. Let me first, talk about the context. Okay, so you will be clear about what we are trying to do. So this is about retargeting, and I think the majority of us know what retargeting means. Okay, so basically, you go to a website, and if you don't buy things, okay, so for example, either you put in a shopping cart, or sometimes you just leave, okay, the website without purchase, then retailers can retarget you. Okay, try to give you, use advertising. Okay, try to get you to buy again. So for example, Google retargeting campaign, okay, so that's a very well-known example. The campaign says that the biggest benefits, okay, for this retargeting is to reach people when they are most likely to buy. Okay, and actually, reality is the majority of people, after they go to Amazon or some of the websites, and they will end up with not buying. Okay, and in our data, which I will show you, the super majority, 98.7% of consumers end up not buying. Okay, so these people have a huge value. Okay, for retargeting, they go to a website because they already indicates that they intend to buy, and if they turn out not to buy anything, then they should, it tells you that there's a huge value. Okay. For advertising. Now, some stats, I just found out, when I Google online. So 1 in 5 marketers have dedicated budget for retargeting. And the main reason for most of marketers is to increase revenue and also acquire new customers. Okay, and it's claimed that the average click rate of retargeted display ad. Okay, so after you go to visit a dealer online, and then after you leave, okay, then you see those pop up or some of the display ad. Okay, that tells you that some other dealers have discount. So it's that kind of display ad. Okay, and the claim is that this click rate is 0.7%. If you think that's low, the average click rate for non-target display ads is 0.07%. Okay, so that's a 10 times higher click rate. All right. Now, so about this study, the context is different. Okay, so let me explain what is the context of retargeting for my study here. First, it is about a retail platform. Okay, this retail platform is Taobao, Taobao.com in China. Okay, it's owned by Alibaba. The retail platform will play a large role in retargeting. Okay, now what do I mean here? Taobao, or Tmall or Amazon Marketplace. Okay, these platforms, they have large number of sellers, on one side and also large number of customers on another side. Okay? So platforms will help sellers to retarget consumers after they search and then quit without buying. Okay? Now, these platforms have large power over sellers in the sense that they can decide which seller will send retargeting message to which buyers or which consumers, and in what way. They decide that. Okay? Now, this is actually reality, at least for Alibaba. I'm working with Alibaba now for a team at Tmall, and they told me that they have absolute power to decide which seller has the largest chance of converting which consumers, and all is controlled by the platform. Okay? So it's different from display ad in the sense that sellers will decide whether they do retargeting or not. But here, platforms will decide. Okay? And they will manage the communication between sellers and consumers. Now, the method is not display ad. Display ad, the click rate is 0.7%. But here, what Taobao can do is they will use a mobile app, okay? And then it will be specifically designed for retargeting message. It's not display ad, okay? We'll send from seller, send the message, and directly to consumers. And now here, they're actually doing that, okay? And people told me that the click rate of seller's message at Tmall.com is about 40%. So you think about this. The click rate of display ad is 0.7%, but for this type of mobile app, the click rate is 40%. So it is different from display ad. For display ad, we kind of think that they may not even pay attention, okay, to the message. But here, because the click rate is 40%, we can safely assume that everyone, you have the mobile app and then you see the message, you pay attention. Okay, so that's some kind of assumption we make. And here also, platforms. Okay, think about Taobao in this case. It has very detailed information about the online behaviors of consumers. Now here, what does it mean, online behaviors? Taobao knows when a customer click into Taobao, it knows how this customer search across sellers. Okay, it knows the sequence of search. It knows which seller page gets clicked first, which gets clicked second, and so on. Okay, so it has a lot of detailed search information about this consumer. Okay, and then Taobao can evaluate for each consumer who end up not buying, it can evaluate the click and conversion probability if Taobao send out the retargeting message. So the goal of this study, we want to investigate how marketers should retarget consumers. Okay, it is not just based on demographics. It's not just where you live. It's also not just whether you buy or not buy. Okay, it should target also based on the online search behaviors, how they search across sellers. Okay, and the goal is to increase the effectiveness of retargeting. And the research questions we ask here, number one, how to match sellers with consumers based on the online search behavior in those marketing campaigns. And number two is how effective are different types of marketing actions used for retargeting. So here we look at two types of marketing actions. One is to send out coupons, okay, to give a discount to consumers and ask them to come back and buy. The second type is to offer the seller information. So we assume that Taobao can send a message to consumers and tell consumer, what type, what price, and what type of product, what kind of after-sale service the seller provide. So it provides that kind of information in the message, and we see whether this is effective. Okay, so This is the objective. All right, so the challenge in this study, okay, Taobao has done a lot of things, but it has never done retargeting. Okay, so yesterday, we talked about the large data. Here, actually, the number of observations in my data is 0. I don't observe any retargeting done by Taobao. And my job is actually to come up with a strategy, okay, for how Taobao can do retargeting. Okay, so if you say that this is crazy, but you think about marketers, we do that all the time. We are thinking about new strategy we have not done. Okay, we need to have some idea about to predict how effective, okay, are our strategies. So this is exactly what we are doing here. Okay, but what we are doing is a little bit different from typical marketers. So for marketers, you may collect data from other companies and look at what they have done, and may use that as some baseline to form prediction. Okay, but Taobao's context is very different from other contexts. Okay, and this is also a very new method of retargeting. It's not like retargeting through display ads. You can't just say 0.7% click rates or 0.001% conversion rates and use that to predict what Taobao will achieve if they do retargeting, because they are using very different method. Okay, so what we are doing here is, you may also say, well, in this case, maybe Taobao can run experiments. Okay, but the problem for running experiments in this context is there are lots of variables, okay, you can use to target customers. Now, if you run an experiment without any guidance, experiments will be ineffective because you basically need to run a lot, okay? So, well, Taobao, of course, it has a lot of customers. Actually, Taobao plus Tmall, it has more than 500 million people. And now they're actually saying that, okay, they will give me 5% of customers, which means that I can have 25 million people to run experiments. So it's a lot. But still, if you just run experiments without any guidance, it can take a long time and you will be super costly. Okay. So here, what the goal for this study is actually we use the data. Now, we don't have data about retargeting, but we have a lot of data about how customers search and then their final purchase decision at Taobao. Okay. Now, but these customers are not exposed to retargeting, but we observe their behavior, okay? And then we use this behavior, and now we borrow from a very well-established literature in economics and in marketing. It is called search literature, okay? We borrow a very well-known search model called Weismann's model. It is published in 1979. And this model predicts how consumers search for information and finally make the purchase decision. Now we estimate this model from our data and then use this, and now we can recover a lot of what we call model parameters. So this includes how their willingness to purchase or purchase intents are different across people, and what is the search cost, and what is the price sensitivity. Okay, so we need all those model parameters, and then with this, we run counterfactuals. Okay, counterfactual is, what if Taobao now do retargeting? And now target those 98.7% consumers who have not purchased. And now what will happen? Okay, makes sense? So what we are doing here, is for those in academics, we know this is called structural model approach. Okay, a structural approach is we use counterfactuals, but we estimate the model from data. We recover model parameters, and remind you, this model is based on well-established literature. Okay, people have shown that how it works, and if you believe in the model, and now you recover the parameters, and now you can do a lot of things that you haven't done. It's like a thought exercise, okay? So here, you need to make some assumptions. The strongest assumption is you need to believe the Weismann model, okay? But if you do believe that consumers are like that, And now you can say, well, if now I do something for these 98.7% consumers who have not purchased, then what will happen? Okay? And now this thought exercise can tell me which retargeting strategy is most effective and what kind of variables you can use to target. Okay, make sense? So this is the objective. All right. So a little background, okay? So the data is from Taobao.com, and we have very detailed information on how consumers search and their purchase activities of tablets, okay, under the Apple and Samsung brand names. So how consumers search at Taobao? So first they will go to Taobao, okay, at homepage, and they will search, say, tablet, okay, or sometimes they can search by type down like a Samsung tablet, okay, and then they will lead to this product search page, okay. They will see a list of seller links, okay. So it's like this. If you can read Chinese, this is a description. Product search page, basically you see all the sellers rank, okay, in the list, okay, and then they see price, they see some of the short description, and if you are interested in any seller, any product, now you click on one of the links, okay, then you will go to the seller page, and at the seller page you will see a lot of more detailed information about including delivery, after sale service, and everything. So this is example, the seller page. Okay, you see more detailed information, and then you can decide whether to buy or not. Okay, so that's the process. That's what we model, and basically we are applying the Wiseman search model, okay, to this process, and now we see how they search. Okay, they can go to seller 1, click into the seller page, not happy, come out, search seller 2, click into the seller page. Okay, and now if they say, okay, so this is what I want, they will make a purchase decision, or they may say, okay, I'm done. I have looked at 2 sellers, now I decide not to buy. So they left, okay, they left Taobao. And now this consumer, without buying anything, will become our retargeted consumer. Okay, so that's the context. All right. Okay, so results. So we estimate the model. So some of the key results here, the price coefficient is a number, okay? It is negative, which means that the higher the price, the less likely they will buy, okay? And now search cost. Now this search cost, what does it mean? It means that if a consumer see a seller link and they click that seller link and get into the seller page, and now they go through all the detailed information, okay? Think about, okay, what is the cost? What are the services, and think about all this, okay? So that's, it's like cognitive cost, and it's also like a time cost for the consumer, okay? So what is the cost for this consumer? It is 26.7 yuan, which is about $4 US, okay? Now, this is actually very small, very tiny, compared with the price of a tablet, which is about 2,200 yuan. Okay, so search cost is very small, but still, because the search cost is positive, okay, so many consumers will not search thoroughly, in the sense that no consumer will click all seller link to compare. And because of the lack of search, lack of information, a lot of consumers will end up not buying, okay? So this will hurt some of the sellers, especially those sellers who have the high ability of conversion. So they actually have high quality, okay, high service quality, but they are not able to attract clicks. All right? And we do some counterfactual here. We say, okay, suppose the consumer know everything about all sellers, so what will be the conversion rate? And so we find that the conversion rates will increase by 19.4%, okay, from the original case without retargeting. And total sales revenue will increase by about 20%. All right. Yeah?
Just a question. How do you get to the search costs?
This is estimated model. We get the data. We know how they search. So now we say, okay, suppose all of these consumers follow the prediction from Wiseman model. Okay, when in Wiseman model, it says that why no consumer will search every seller link? The reason is search cost. So basically, it is, depends on how many links a consumer will click. Okay, say if they click 2 or 3, that means they have high search costs. But if on average they click 4 or 5, that means the search cost is lower. So this is how, this is called structural model estimation. Yep. Okay, so now retargeting, okay? So as I said, in the data, 98.7% of consumers search a product at Taobao and then end up not buying, okay? It is a great asset for sellers and for the retail platform. Now, without retargeting, okay, the current purchase rate is 1.3%, and the current revenue per consumer is 28 yuan. Okay, so this would be the benchmark for without retargeting. Okay, and then we will compare with a different retargeting policy. So how can we retarget effectively? The first action we are thinking about is retargeting consumers with coupons. Okay, so seller will give consumer a coupon. Taobao decide which seller will match with which consumer, okay? And we do some exercise. We found out that the optimal coupon should be 110 yuan, okay? So you can think about this like around $20 US, okay? It is about 5% of the average selling price and also half of seller's profit. And Taobao will send out the coupon to retargeted consumers on behalf of sellers, all right? So we compare several actions. One is random retargeting. Taobao just randomly pick a seller and send to a random retargeted consumer. Okay? In that case, the conversion rate is 0.008%. Okay? Very low, very ineffective. All right? So this tells you that if you just do random retargeting, you know that this customer has not purchased, you just do it randomly, okay, to retarget, it's not effective at all. All right? But now if you retarget your own customer, our own customer means that the consumer already clicked into your seller page in the previous search, okay? And this actually tells you that the consumer is somehow interested in your offering. And now if you offer 110 yuan coupon, it's much, much more effective. The conversion rates will increase a lot, okay? And now, if you further narrow down the retargeting, okay? For example, if you target consumers who have high search intensity, it means this consumer during a search has clicked a lot, okay? That means this consumer has higher purchase intent, okay? Then it's more effective. If the coupon is sent out by a seller whose seller link was clicked first, then you'll be even increase the conversion rates even more. And also, if the coupon is sent out by a seller with high conversion rates, it will further increase. Okay. So this is the overall result. But what you need to remember is the most effective way. Okay. Is the conversion rates will be around 0.1%. And it will increase the total profit by 43K, okay, 43,000. The second retargeting is not giving any coupon, but instead, Taobao now send a recommendation. Okay, Taobao, in this message, Taobao tell the consumer that, hey, I think we find the best seller for you. And then in this message, provide all the seller information. Okay? Now, in this case, no coupon. You may think that, okay, so this would have lower conversion rates. But indeed, we found that by offering the seller information, that's what consumer wants. And if Taobao can do the best matching, it will increase the conversion rates a lot. Okay? So here, the result is this. The most effective way, okay? The conversion rate will be about 0.3%. It is actually 3 times more higher than the previous strategy. Okay, and the total profit will increase by 165K. So it increased a lot more. Okay, so the conclusion here is, it is much more effective for retargeting strategy to provide seller information. Okay, coupon is not that effective, but providing seller information is much more efficient. And if, so here we also use the counterfactual to show that if Taobao also provides seller the consumer search information, so a seller, when the seller sends out the message, the seller actually knows which consumer, what's their search behavior. Okay, so that would be the best match. And in that case, so this is the result. Okay, conversion rates will be at the maximum is 0.3%, and profit will increase by 165K. Now that is about 22% improvement from the sales profit without retargeting. Okay, so that's the best strategy. All right, so very quickly to conclude, okay, the three main findings for us. Without better use of consumer information, retargeting is ineffective. Use consumer search behavior, okay, to decide who are most profitable to retarget. That's important for Taobao and also for sellers. And finally, providing consumers the seller information is the most effective retargeting strategy. All right, thank you.
Another method is like, would you guys consider like showing product reviews instead of just like the recommendations, but literally testimonials, like I bought this 5 stars, a bunch of other people doing that. Because I kind of use display and I'm slashing my budget every year because it doesn't work. I do retargeting on GDN and it doesn't work that well as well. So we're thinking of different ways in the booking funnel to like get people to convert on the right, show different messaging, how many rooms are left in the hotel.
Right.
And changing the pricing.
Yeah, you mentioned review. Review, the information of reviews is in the seller page. So they have to click in. And in our counterfactual, we assume that in the message, it will also tell about the information about the review. Yeah, that's important.
Did you consider and test interactions between if someone was shown seller information and offered a coupon at the same time to see if there's any differences as opposed to either or kind of situation?
In the best scenario, we are actually assuming that Taobao will provide information for both sides. So which means that seller know all the information about this consumer search behavior, and consumer also know all the seller information. Does that make sense?
And anything to do with sort of incorporating coupons into it, so the seller provides sort of that information, or Taobao provides that information and also says, well, here's a 5%.
That's a good question. We haven't done that. Yeah, we just think about these two separate strategies, but they can combine.
Consumers are getting smart about this, right? Like, we've all abandoned carts and then you get an offer. So it feels like we're reinforcing.
Yes, yes, this is important. I think it's also one of the major limitations here. Now, I don't think there's a problem of receiving a recommendation. Okay, they already search, but for the coupon strategy, that would be a concern. If we give too much coupon, as you said, then all of us would get very smart, and then we know that we just abandon, and then we will get the coupon. Yeah. But actually, our result actually show that even for coupon, even half of seller profit at Taobao is not very effective. Yeah.
Do the coupons have like an expiration date or anything like that?
It's really a thought exercise here. We haven't really thought about that, but you can think about this coupon. It has no expiration date, but it can only be redeemed if you buy from that seller. Yeah. Okay. Just one more question.
So did you notice whether the type of product that people were looking for more information on? It seems a little counterintuitive since a lot of folks say, people are just looking through, and then say that they're reading the information and that's what's leading them to purchase. Is it electronics? Is that?
Yeah, so here the category is tablet. Okay, so it is a big price item, and people will search a lot of information. It has a lot of product features you need to go through. But if you think about it, some, just maybe grocery shop items, I think maybe this Weissman model is not a good model to predict how they do. What you describe is not the Weissman model. And yeah, I agree. Okay, thank you very much.